first in a series of lessons in which I'm going to try to really put it all together on the movable chord shapes that we've been looking at for 10 years now. The idea here again is simple, that if you know your first position, open position chord shapes, your A, your D, and your F, and you learn how to move them all over the fretboard and play the associated scales and other licks, you can basically unlock anything in guitar. Certainly in rock, pop, country, soul, blues, all the genres that we've been looking at. So I'm going to take one chord shape at a time. Today we're looking at the A chord shape, which is formed by barring 4, 3, 2. And if you do that here at the 2nd fret, then what you have is the A chord of the A shape. So the first thing that I am going to insist on is that you do learn how to play the A chord as a bar. Out all strings playing it as a bar. I hear a lot of people say, well, it mutes the first string. Well, you often don't need the first string anyway, but as you just heard, you can do it correctly. But the most important thing is you need these other fingers to do other things, to play scales, to play other licks around it. So if you're playing it like this, or even more puzzling, I see people play it like this. Don't do that. Learn how to play it as a bar, okay? The first thing that we want to look at when we're looking at any of these shapes is what are the associated scale tones around it that you can use when you're soloing. You know, let's say you're soloing and the chord progression is over a D and you're lost. And you're like, I don't want to play more D minor pentatonic licks. I've been playing D minor pentatonics since I was 13. Well, if you know that you've got a D chord up here, the 7th fret, right? 5th string root, A shape of the D chord, then you've got all these licks that are around it. So that's what we're trying to do here. So the scale that we're looking at today is the major pentatonic. A major pentatonic here at the 2nd fret would be, and you should also remember that your relative minor, F sharp minor, is here, and that those notes are the same. The F sharp minor pentatonic, the notes are the same as those in the A major pentatonic. So you can start, as I did, by chunking up the going 3 to 4 on the 5th fret, which would be your minor 3rd to major 3rd, C to C sharp. Just know that you can't really go wrong if you go from 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3 from the bar. Obviously I'm on the 2nd and 4th frets there. But if you were up here over a D, first and foremost that you can hold down the bar and go from that 1st fret of the bar up to on 5, 4, and 3. And that you can bend that note just as you can in the minor pentatonic. We looked at some Hendrix chord stuff. It's that same idea. So I just did some pentatonic licks over the A. Then the chord progression shifted to the 4, which is the D, and I went like this. Something like that. That's one of those those pedal steel licks. We've looked at these an awful lot. What you're doing is you're grabbing with your pinky the first two strings, which would be part of that F shape of a D chord, right? You're grabbing part of that. If we did it down here over the A, we'd be grabbing the 5th fret. It's hard to do slowly, but basically you bar those two, bending the 9th fret, and then releasing to 7th fret, which again is your D note, right? It's your root note. Again, remember you can play these anywhere on the fretboard, right? So you could do that here. So I came back to the A of the A, and I went. So what did I do there? I went and I slid up to 5 and 6 on 2 and 3. Slid down to 3 and 4 on 2 and 3. So just know when you have your A shape, on the 2nd and 3rd strings you can go. In this case I went. Then our progression went to the 5. The E chord, 9th fret, I hammered on, this is the classic Keith Richards lick, so we're at the 10th fret 2nd string, 11th fret 4th string, so again, we're just playing 4 and 2 here, and then both at the 12th, and then back down. Hammering on these or sliding into them makes it sound much cooler, right? Rather than if I had just gone. So like all of these licks, you can play this one anywhere. That's the way I ended it. I just did another Keith Richards thing, but I just played it more as a strumming riff rather than as sort of an arpeggiated thing. And ending on a Pete Townshend thing. This is something that Pete Townshend loves to do with the A shape, which is again why you have to play it as a bar, because you can't do Keith and you can't do Pete. So what you're doing there is, again, you're grabbing those two strings there at the 5th fret, 1st and 2nd string, just like we did with the pedal steel lick earlier, but in this case it's more of a rock thing. So quick review, what we've learned today is scale notes, this lick, pedal steel lick, the arpeggiated lick, Keith Richards lick, Pete Townshend lick. Play around with those. Hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Thank you.